Hello, welcome to Covering Sports with Prince, and in today's video I'm going to be touching on the big main event this Saturday, the 22nd of November 2025, with Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde for the WBC Championship, and making you guys know who I feel is going to be victorious in that fight. Now let's get straight into it. Benavidez standing at 6'2" with a 74.5-inch reach. He's a problematic opponent for anybody. He's known for his Mexican boxing style, great high guard, pressurizing fighter, comes forward quite a lot, likes to hound his opponent down, flurrying a whole bunch of combinations coming from different angles, which they say knockout come from the punches that you don't see. Benavidez is not a one-punch KO fighter, he's a high volume fighter. So like mentioned before, he throws a high volume of punches when he gets into that situation, and he sits on his punches very well. His footwork is good. I wouldn't say it's great, but he does have good footwork. But like any fighting style, you have disadvantages and you have advantages. And the disadvantages of the style Benavidez fights in is a lot of times he's squared to his opponent, so he's more of an open target for his opponent to hit. And in saying that, Anthony Yarde is going to have his chances throughout the fight to make something happen. Sometimes Benavidez overcommits to punches, which also allows him to become unbalanced, which leaves room for his opponents to counter. So if Yarde can capitalize on that, then he has a chance. Now moving on to Anthony Yarde. Anthony Yarde standing at 6 foot with a 72-inch reach. For me, with Anthony Yarde, there's always been a conditioning thing. Between the first to the fifth round, he looks strong, he looks solid. You know, he moves well, but as the rounds progress, he becomes more sluggish, his feet becomes more heavy, his shots is not as powerful, still powerful, but not as powerful. Everything starts to decline after the fifth round. Now, fights when Anthony Yarde has gone the distance, he's, for the most part, been the one that's applying pressure to the opponent. But when he's fighting on the back foot, you see the deficit in this game. And being that his opponent's Benavidez, Anthony Yarde's going to be the one that's going to be on the back foot for the majority of the fight. And we've seen against Benavidez, Anthony Yarde is not the greatest when he's fighting on the back foot. He's always going to be dangerous when he fights on the back foot due to his counters. But on a whole, on the back foot, he's not really great. In that Benavidez fight, on numerous occasions, we've seen when he got into the corner, he was near enough a sitting duck. He didn't have the footwork to enable him to get out of those situations. Even in the Kovalev fight, although Anthony Yarde was a more inexperienced fighter, he was a younger fighter also. In the latter rounds, he gassed out. And David Benavidez, being the pressurizing fighter that he is, having a great reach, I just feel like he's going to capitalize on those flows of Anthony Yarde, pressurize him, get him into the corner, and just start to throw the volumes of punches that he loves to throw so much with great ferocity. At Benavidez, we saw against Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant has a high level of skill and great footwork, so he was able to get out of situation when he was getting backed into the corner by David Benavidez. But unfortunately, Anthony Yarde doesn't have that same ability, so he's going to be fighting on the back foot for the majority of the fight, and he's going to have to utilize the jab to keep Benavidez off of him. And I don't think that Anthony Yarde has the endurance to withstand that for that amount of time from round 1 to round 12, because as each round progresses, Benavidez is like his ferocity, his intensity goes up a notch every single round. So in saying that, I have David Benavidez winning by a late stoppage. If I was meant to predict the round, I would say a TKO in the 9th round. Anthony Yarde definitely has a chance for sure. I believe Anthony Yarde is the biggest puncher that David Benavidez has faced or is going to face. So it's intriguing to see how he takes his shots. And when you're in heavier weight classes, punching power plays a huge factor. Anthony Yarde has to take the fight to Benavidez very early if he wants a chance of winning this fight. And in saying that, Thank you again for tuning in to Covering Sports with Prince.